Welcome to Inside the Ivy. On the phone, Ben Hecht. He is a guy that's with the Cubs organization. He's been through the minor leagues so far: Eugene, South Bend, Myrtle Beach, AA Tennessee. Ben, welcome to Inside the Ivy on the Sports Report Radio Network.
Thank you very much for having me. Happy to do it.
Hey Ben, let's talk a little bit about your experience with the Cubs at this point through the organization. You've been with, did you do anything with the Arizona in the fall leagues or with the rookie leagues in Arizona? Because I noticed you're in Eugene, South Bend, Myrtle Beach, and Tennessee, 4 different places. Did you spend any time besides spring training in Arizona?
When I first got drafted, I spent about an extra 3 weeks in Arizona getting physicals done and building up my throwing program again. And then I think I pitched twice in the fall league. And that's outside of that, spring training is the only experience I've had out in Arizona. That's about it.
What a beautiful facility out there in Mesa, Arizona, the Cubs have compared to all the other minor league teams. What's it like for you when you walk in there? You've been with the Cubs a couple years now, a couple spring trainings. Walking in and you're seeing Lackey, you're seeing, Rizzo, you're seeing Lester through the years, you're seeing guys Hendricks, you're seeing them in there, basically training and doing that, and you're walking around thinking, man, these are my teammates. What's that like for you?
It's crazy, you grew up, and then you go to college, and a lot of these guys you idolize. You watch from a distance, and you obviously get to watch them on TV, and then you get to see them win the World Series, my draft year, and it's just kind of crazy to see it all happen. And next thing you know, you walk in and you're sharing a facility with them, and it's crazy, and then you get to watch how they go about their days. You get to see what makes them. You get to see what makes a big leaguer a big leaguer, and if you just watch the way they carry themselves, it's a learning experience for sure.
I'll bet, Ben, especially for you as you've moved through the organization, all the different stops along the way, I'm sure you have other guys that are younger that kind of follow your lead because you followed the lead of these guys that have made it to the major leagues. I mean, it probably keeps you focused, doesn't it, to keep working hard to get to that ultimate dream, get to the big leagues?
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. Not a question about it. You see all these big-time names, all the people that the Cubs have signed over my time with the organization, and you hear some of these names, and, like Craig Kimbrell and the Chris Bryants and the Rizzos. Once you go into that weight room or the facility and you see them walking around, it's kind of crazy because part of you realizes, wow, these guys are, they're humans like all of us. It's what they do in that facility when no one's watching that separates them, and it kind of is inspiring and makes you realize, this is really a real thing. Like, if you just watch them and you see how they go about their day, what makes, whoever makes Anthony Rizzo, it's amazing, and you can learn a lot just from sitting back, watching and appreciating who they are and what they do.
Hey, Ben, you were a 12th round pick, right? And was it 2017 or 18? I can't remember. What was it? What year was it?
17.
17. Okay, 12th round, in a lot of pro leagues, 12th round is near the end, but realistically, the 12th round in MLB, that's a fairly, early pick, for pitchers and for any players with the draft being sometimes 40 rounds. I mean, what's it like for you getting picked up there fairly early and getting out and coming to the Cubs? What did that mean to you that they put that confidence in you, selecting you so early in the draft?
There's a lot of things that go through your head. You don't want to try and put too much pressure on yourself. So you don't want to make the game bigger than what it is, I guess. It's no matter how you want to look at it, it's the same game that I grew up playing, the same game I've loved my whole life, and you can't. You got to do everything in your power to not change that. At the end of the day, whether you're in Arizona League or AA, when you get on the mound, you're expected to get the guy in the batter's box out, and obviously they put me in that position for a reason. They trust me, and I'm just trying to deliver and do my job, and don't make it more difficult than it has to be. I know what you do well, and stick with what you do well, and do it with confidence.
Hey Ben, speaking of what you do well, do you like middle relief? Do you like being a reliever, starter? I mean, what's kind of your niche that you think that you've kind of settled into?
Oh, that's actually kind of tough. I only got one start in pro ball, and it was actually a spot start after one of the starters got ill while getting ready. But honestly, I guess what I've realized is, you kind of just got to be ready to do it all. You can't show up to the ballpark on any given day and be like, yeah, I got the ninth tonight, or I got 3 outs, or I got 2 1/3. You just kind of got to be ready for it all. As far as what I prefer, I mean, like I said, it doesn't matter. Just you got to get the guy in the batter's box out, and whatever role they put you in on a given day, you need to execute your role if you want to keep playing this game. And I'm just trying to do my job still, and it's kind of crazy. You move around a lot.
That's a really good answer. I remember a few years ago I was out and we travel around. We try to do all the different different minor league stops. We haven't done Eugene. We're in Indiana, so we haven't made it clear to Eugene. But I interviewed the owner of the Iowa Cubs, and he said to me something a number of years ago. He said, Kyle, remember that minor league baseball is about talent development. Sure, wins on the field are great, and we want to win, and there's been a lot of winning, but talent development, it sounds to me like you're focused on whatever you do to win and also get you to the big leagues for talent development. I really like your answer, Ben. That was, showing up the ballpark, that was a really good answer, and that's a good attitude for yourself. I appreciate that, a very positive attitude, and that's, I was going to tell you, drafted in the 12th round, the Cubs not only pick good players, they pick good quality guys. What's it like for you to put on that Cubs uniform and think, wow, this iconic franchise picked me and I'm a member of this organization?
Yeah, it's crazy, especially growing up in an area with a lot of Cub fans. You come home and, I've always wondered if it would be a little bit different playing for, a team out in Florida or, the West Coast, whatever it may be, if it would be the same. But coming home to Illinois with the Cub fans, it's crazy. You see how passionate the franchise and the fan base is and always has been. And so, one thing you're told a lot when you're in Arizona is how good we got it, how much these fans care. And sometimes especially early in my career, you could take it for granted because you don't realize, because when you're in South Bend, Chicago seems just like, it seems like a mythical world that doesn't exist, that you're never going to get to. And you catch yourself taking it for granted at times. And as I've gotten older, I've gotten closer, I've gotten more mature, you don't take a second for granted. You really appreciate every small thing. The fans in Chicago, they care just as much about the guys coming up through Tennessee and Iowa and Myrtle and so on. And, you really can't take it for granted because we're in the minor leagues. We'll go play a team on the road, and yet somehow half the fans there are Cub fans just because they care that much. And it's, you're tumbling. You're really, you don't get it much better than this.
Yeah, that's one of the really cool things about the Cubs. So, home is Effingham. How did you get to Wichita State from Effingham? Is that some place that you had a family connection to, or somebody that recruited you heavily? What was it like to go from Effingham to Wichita State for college?
Well, yeah, I started off at Illinois State. Local kid, wanted to keep it local. I had some offers to some places, and I had some really good schools recruiting me. And basically, I started off initially. I'm a homegrown kid. I want to stay home where my family can see me, and so that's why I decided to go to Illinois State. And then out of junior college, I don't know. I just kind of felt that readiness that maybe it's time to experience something a little further away. Now, I had other offers from schools, a decent amount of distance away, but ultimately I had gotten the call from Todd Butler that year and brought me on campus, met the rest of the coaching staff, and it's kind of cliche, but you kind of just feel at home. One thing I really appreciated was they basically told me, like, hey, here's your scholarship. I don't care how much I'm giving you. You need to earn every bit of playing time I'm going to give you. And, it's just like, doesn't matter who you are, whether you're full ride or walk on, if you earn the right to play, you're going to keep playing for me and you're going to help us win. And that was something that really, spoke to me. I just, there's no bias about it. They don't care. They just want to win and they want the right guy to play at the right time. And as long as you keep performing, you're going to be that guy. And I really appreciated his honesty with me.
Ben, that sounds like a really good idea, because that obviously helps you through the minor leagues as you progress, because the ultimate goal is to get to Wrigley Field, and you've been working your way through the system from there. But Ben, I appreciate you taking your time. I know it's kind of a unique time with spring training and Major League Baseball season being delayed, but I'm hoping we can catch up with you as we follow your career, whether you're going to be at Tennessee this year or whether you're going to be in Iowa or maybe even make it to Chicago. But our goal is to follow you through your career and be there and talk to you as you hit these milestones. But Ben, thanks so much. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to do this quick interview with us. Thanks, Ben.
No, absolutely happy to do it.